Hey everybody, my name is Tim Riley and I live here on the coast of Maine with my wife and my two kids. And I am a professional photographer. I also happen to be the guy who invented the RPG key. And so I wanted to take a moment to walk you through in a very casual way how it is that I use an RPG key to help my photo editing. I'm a Lightroom guy, and with the focus of my editing is in Lightroom, with the occasional trip to Photoshop for retouching. Um, but much of what you're going to see in this video can be attributed to those who are using Aperture and even ACR to some degree. But first, the RPG key is a keyboard-based software. Um, what we've done is we've taken much of the mouse movement out of photo editing so that you can edit your photos as if you were playing the piano. So if I jump into Lightroom here for a minute and I click on an image that I want to edit, I have to then go to the Develop module, wait for the Develop module to load, and if I want to put a vignette on this photograph, I have to scroll all the way down in Lightroom to find vignette and drag it down. Okay, and then perhaps I want to make it black and white. I've got to go find my favorite black and white preset. Okay, this is how all photo editing softwares work, and so as a photographer, we decided there had to be a better way, and 10 years ago we developed our first RPG key, and we've come a long way since then. This video I'm going to be using the 21 key RPG key, but the capabilities are the same for the 16 key, the 20 key, and the 58 key. It's the same software. Okay, so I'm going to start this job. This was a day my wife told me that I was going to be taking photographs of my children. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so, and it was a cloudy day. Actually, it was foggy here on the coast of Maine. So this was me making the best of the situation. So I'm going to start my job using a macro called 6up, which was designed by Jared Platt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the library module. I'm going to turn my filters on, and I'm going to say hide anything that is flagged and unflagged. So that means if I reject a photograph, it's going to drop out of sight. So I'm going to press this button, this 6up button on my RPG key right now. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull 6 frames onto the screen, the next sequential 6 frames. I can even make it a little bit larger and fill up more of the screen by getting rid of my left and right panel. So now with one hand on my RPG key and one hand on the arrow keys of my native computer keyboard, I'm going to go through and I'm going to reject some of these images. Now I've got on my keyboard that I'm using right now, there's a key right here for reject. So I'm going to go ahead and hit reject on this image because I don't like it. And I really like the third image, but I don't really like any of these others. And so now I want to see, if I hit the 6up button right now, it's going to advance me to the next 6. But I've got a photograph here of my son. So I'm going to highlight the first image, hit the 6up button. It's going to include that image of my son so that I can then go through these frames rejecting. All I'm doing is hitting the X key on the computer keyboard and rejecting the images that I don't want of the sequence. Now in this case, I don't want many of them. But this because they're my kids, and I'm looking for one image from the entire shoot for a canvas wrap for our living room. And I've already edited this job. But the point being here, this one simple button on the RPG key is going to increase your photo editing time significantly because you're always comparing files. You're looking for a needle in a haystack. You're looking for that one file out of a sequence that's just perfect and you know your client's going to want it. Okay, so that's one technique that we use for the RPG key, with the RPG key for photo editing. The next is if we jump into manipulations, we go into the Develop module. The RPG key can run the vast majority of these sliders, any and all of your presets, as well as retouching presets. So let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to pull up the RPG software, and I'm going to say, for example, that I want the third function on this key to be a preset. And I'm going to maybe say, I'm going to have 60s film on this key and 65 Mustang. These are Kevin Kubota's presets, which I really like, and black and white here, and another black and white here. So I've just programmed 4 presets to these top row keys, okay? Because the RPG key is looking at your computer's hard drive and allowing us to see them. So if I come in here and I'm looking at this image and I want to increase the exposure, okay, or decrease the exposure, I can do that with a key, and look, my mouse is right here, okay? I can also go and grab those presets that are all along the left here. So without having to go and find them myself, the RPG key can do it. So let's go find that one. It just clicked on that one, which happened to be at the top. Let's try a different one. Okay, oop, it says it doesn't find that one because we've taken it out before this video. Love it, great example. Let's try another one. There we go, black and white chocolate, okay? So I'm doing things with a mouse click that normally I'd have to do with my mouse, and if you think very analytically about how long you sit at a computer, you're going to save a ton of time. Now, if you're somebody who likes to use the retouching brushes in Lightroom, let me show you what's new in this latest version. So I'm going to go here to button 209, and I'm going to say the third, let's do 210. I'm going to say the third function is not a develop preset, but a retouching preset. And I'm going to do the Kubota Digifill preset. So all I do is assign that to that key. Now, when I'm in Lightroom here, okay, I'm going to hit the button. It's going to open up my retouching brush and grab Digifill for me, so that all I have to do is do a little painting. Now, I don't like the look of that in this particular one because I had re-recorded Digifill, but the point is, you no longer have to click the retouching brush, go find the preset, scroll down and find it. The RPG key is going to do it for you. Here's another example. There we go. There it is, and it grabs Digifill. We can do an entirely different one. Let's do this button here. We'll do retouching brush, and we'll do hand color. So we'll go into a color image, and I could go here, and then I can start to retouch. Oh, hand color. Okay, and again, I have rewritten these, so these not fair to what I've done to these presets. I've messed around with them, but you're seeing here how quickly we can touch them. Now in Photoshop, it's the same thing is true here. If you're in Photoshop, let me open a file here. We'll open up this file. So we'll edit in. So I've got a button on my RPG key to take a file from Lightroom into Photoshop. So I'm going to say edit in on my RPG key and say yes, open anyway. And so here comes the file into Photoshop. And again, that was a button on my RPG key. And so now I can manipulate this file here in Photoshop, and I can take advantage of the RPG key because it can do all of my Photoshop actions, any and all of my tools, all of my menus. So for example, when you're in Photoshop and you want to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, there's no shortcut for that, but in the RPG key there is. So if I go into the RPG key software here, I change it from Lightroom to Photoshop. Let's see, I think we're in Photoshop 5. So say Lightroom Photoshop 5. Now I can go and I can say, let's go to menu actions, and I can scan. I can tell the RPG key to scan all of the menus of Photoshop 5. So it's just done it. And so now I can search for the word blur, and now the RPG key has created, let's just do it on this button, has created a shortcut just for that blur. So if we're in here in Photoshop and we hit that button, it's going to pull up our Gaussian blur. And I wouldn't have to, if that's something that you do constantly, then it's going to be helpful to you to have as a button on your keys. So that's what this is all about. It's all about increasing the speed of your workflow, getting your photo editing off of your desk, and getting it so that you can get in front of your customer to do your sales presentation much faster. Thanks for your time. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.